Good morning. This is Wealth Principle 20. That means we've been doing it for 20 weeks. There are 52 millionaire wealth principles. You've been hanging out for all of these. If you haven't been in here in the Zoom call, it's because we were doing them personally before. Now we're doing them live on Zoom, so you have access, which is cool. I've been asked if we're going to go back to live local events. I don't know. I think we serve the community better this way. And if we do it live, we'll continue to do the Zoom one way or the other. That said, Wealth Principle 20 is make sure that you 10X your business. Make sure you're applying the 10X rule to your planning, to your life, to your business, because that's how you get results. 10X, what does it stand for? Who knows what 10X stands for? We'll go a little engagement here. It's for the mentorship program, the coaches, the mentors, the people who are in the room right now who you can see on camera. Mike Shine, go ahead. What does 10X stand for?
10X, X stands for times, 10 times like multiplication. Multiply your efforts.
10X! And who coined that phrase?
I think his name was Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone. He wrote the book, The 10X Rule.
Uncle G.
And if you're not somebody who's a fan of Grant Cardone, that's okay. I don't think he cares. He's one of those guys you very clearly know he doesn't care what you think. But that's what makes him so powerful, because his goal's so big. His goals are 10X. They're so massive that like he knows, okay, I've just got to be exactly who I am, crush through the crowd, take my 1/3 and move on to the next crowd. Does that make sense? When your goals are so big, like so powerful, so massive, there's nothing anyone can do to slow you down. Right? Because the goal pulls you forward. And I'm going to give you some rules, some tips, some tricks. I now have a goal so big, it pulls me forward. It forces me to do things. I was talking about with the mentorship program with all the future millionaires here on the call. I was talking about time management the other day. You guys remember time management? And everybody on the call said, well, I need some help with time management. And what I said was, it's not time management, it's priority management. It's knowing what's so important, knowing something that'll get you out of bed in the morning, that drives you, having a big enough goal. And I was working one-on-one with Darina, and she said, well, babe, I don't know what I'm supposed to do for my schedule. Like it's all over the place. And I said, well, what's the one thing, right? Go back to the one thing. And then, well, what have you done to make sure that you get it done? What have you scheduled? What have you forced yourself on your calendar to make sure you get it done? And then I went into my position, right? So I know, does anybody want to know what my secret is? What my one thing is? What I have to do, if I do it every single day, it pulls the lever forward. Yes? Interested?
Yeah.
I'll tell you at the end. So perfect. That's called leaving an open loop. Mitch, come on over, bro. Mitch Dorsky, everyone.
What's up, everybody? So, two things. 10X. I want to 10X this meetings. Do it in person. I'm getting 10X right here.
10X!
In person. And my one thing, what's the one thing I get more out of Saturday? I'm the Galter's office and be in his face. Yes, the one thing I can get more out of it.
10X. Fly up. Be in Boston. Come hang out with us. It's a good experience, just being able to and spend some time with somebody who's really powerful, an influencer, right? So that's what moves. One of my levers is building relationships with people who have more relationships. So what can we do in your life and your business to set those 10X goals? And oh yeah, later, Mitch. I'll see you over there, brother.
I'll see you on the screen.
So Mitch is going to be bouncing through screens today. So if Mitch ends up on your screen, you get points.
Walter, I wanted to say something real quick.
Go ahead, Rod.
I'm bringing somebody in who just now signed up for the membership program.
Whoa! Who is it? Who just signed up?
This is Kim Harvey. She's jumping in right now.
Kim Harvey. Excellent. We've been talking for a long time about mentoring Kim, and it's awesome. She actually has signed up with the mentorship program, paid the $1,000, that massive dollar amount. Give Kim a round of applause. Good morning. Talk about 10X, right? So when you want results, you do whatever it takes to get the results. Kim has big goals. She wants to become a millionaire. And so she decided to do something that millionaires do. They invest in themselves. They go and they pay for programs. And we were talking about this the other day. The program that we've created is extremely inexpensive. For all the mentorship members, the future millionaires, have you gotten what you paid for? Have you gotten more than what you paid for? Do you think that we over-deliver? We over-promised and we over-delivered on it? Excellent. So the program is doing good for you. You're building relationships in the program that are expand your business beyond the program, yes? Excellent. That's the whole point. So give Kim a round of applause again. She's amazing. Congratulations, Kim. We're going to introduce you, get you into the game Monday night at 8 o'clock. You'll see all this stuff. And Ron has sent out an email for you to give you some of the heads up on what's going on, how the program works. So it is great to see you. Stephanie, you jumped in on the call. You look amazing. You and I were texting at what, 1 o'clock last night? Yeah, you got to
1
unmute
o'clock
it.
your time. I think it was like 11 p.m. my time.
Okay, so I'm more impressive than you. That's fine. That's all right. What'd you say,
Silly.
Chris?
I said, is Dorina aware of that?
Oh yeah, Dorina's aware. Dude, that's one of the benefits to having a spouse who's on board with your mission, who understands exactly where you're going. I just laid it out to her early in the relationship. I said, hey, by the way, going to make $1 billion, nothing will stop me. So, and I'm going to help 100 people, help 100 people, help 100 people. And so it's this unstoppable mission. I work crazy hours. I sleep whenever I see a bed and like my body's like, yeah, maybe you should use that. I just sleep during the day, at night. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I live 2 days, and I was very honest with her up front, set the context, set the stage. So now in the relationship, she's like, oh, babe, do you need a nap? Is it nap time? Are you going to go out and work the rest of the night? Because I'm going to go to bed. But if you want to work the rest of the night, knock yourself out. And it's that setting the goal so big. And then being like, once it's that big, you realize it's your responsibility to just be clear with people about where you're going and what you're doing. Does that make sense? So yeah, Dorina has no problem with, I can be texting people till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. If they're on the West Coast, it makes perfect sense. If it's Mike Shine, who's, sending me articles at 12 o'clock at night, then yeah, it makes perfect. 11:55. Vegans don't stay up past midnight.
Yes, we do.
It's in the code. So I love it. Trip Hayward, good to see you, brother. Ron Bowling, in 2 minutes, we can bring all the other people into the course, into the training program.
2 minutes. I'm
And
not
we're
going to warn you.
get moving. I'm going Facebook Live now. What do you say, Ron?
I'm not going to warn you. I'm just going to do it. 2 minutes.
I like it. You don't have to warn me, bro. You just
Yeah, I love it. I
do
love
your
the
thing.
sea. I love the sea. I'm not gonna warn you.
Yeah, so the more you know about Ron, the more I guess you know about Ron. And he is a C. He's a CS. We just hired a virtual assistant, actually. That's 10xing our help. And
God.
our VA is also a high CS. So now I'm surrounded in high C's, high S. And so it's going to be a very, I got to be much more systematic. Anybody know what we're talking about with DISC? So stable, cautious people, and they require systems to be delivered appropriately to them. Now, 10x, this is one of my favorite lessons because it's how I've made my business grow overnight, how I've made it happen so fast. Who here knows that Ron and I have only been in business for 3 years together? We've only been a partnership for 3 years. When he came to me, he had a net worth of probably around 200,000. Ron, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it a 200,000 net worth?
250-ish.
250, and it was liquid. It was cash. It was just cash, right? And so we took that and we started rolling into real estate. In our first year together, we bought 6 buildings. In our second year together, did we buy anything, Ron? Second year? I don't even know. So, but it's been 3 years now, and now we have 44 units together as a partnership. 44 units worth $4 million together, with a net worth in that portfolio of 2.2 something. The numbers are a little bit vague because they change. What is it?
It's like 2.1, something like that.
2.18, something like that.
Yeah.
So right now, though, with inflation, it's gone up for sure. There's no doubt, because we used to average our condos at $100,000 value, and our agent just texted us and said, and nothing like this ever happens with a real estate agent. He texted us and said, hey, I think we need to move the price up. We got to go to 109 on the condos because the market's moving like it's moving fast, but there's no inventory. And he said, dude, I'm getting too many calls. We got to up the price. This is something we did not expect or see. By the way, a bubble's coming, just so you know. When condos go for these prices in Fall River, it's a sign that something's unstable. Emily, good to see you. Excellent. Bring everybody over. And then we'll dive into this amazing principle that can help you. So that's how I built my first millionaire, right? I turned Ron into a millionaire by taking his $250,000 and making it worth more than 1 million. And that's the strategy. In order to get people to the next level, you need other people. And sometimes partnering with somebody who's able to get attention on your business is all you need. So all I did to Ron was go out, find more deals, find more money, and hand them to him. And then Ron processed the deals. Ron does all the work in our business. Does that make sense? Is it fair, though, that I make half because I bring the deal and I bring the money? Does that make sense? So he does all the work, but I do all of the people relationships, and I have the skill set to attract and bring them through to get to the money. And then he does all the labor side. He makes sure that the deal just gets done. So that's how we were able to build our first millionaire, was by putting enough attention and direction and network together, and then letting Ron go and do the rest of the work. So it's a simple process. Now, my first goal in real estate was 40 units. And I thought it was a 10-year goal. And I said, 40 units, that's what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to create for myself. And then I read the 10X rule.
10X.
Who's read this book? Who's read the 10X rule by Grant Cardone? Yes, a lot of people, a lot of believers, a lot of 10Xers. Who's been, where is it? I got the banner right there. Who's been at 10X? Growth Con. Who's done it? There we go. Got Growth Con 3. Where's the other one? Growth Con 2. This was 2. I missed 1. I wasn't that into Grant Cardone for the first one. I didn't go to 4. But now I'm thinking, man, the network was so powerful at 2 and 3. I didn't even need the conference itself. Just the people in the room. The people I met at 2 and 3 were so valuable because they were in it. They were in it so hardcore. Does that make sense? Surround yourself with better people. Surround yourself with people who are totally in it. Part of, and this is an intensive one. So you're gonna need a notebook, and you're gonna need to really pay attention, because to 10X your life means 10Xing a lot of things. 1, 10X the quality of your friends. 10X the people you're hanging around with. How do you do it? You go to more events, and don't just sit there and take notes. Jam into the networking. Like, network like a boss. Network faster. Network better. Move fast. Get more contacts. So when I train agents, the first thing I ask is how many contacts you get at a networking event. And I've had agents say anything between 3 and 20, right? 3 and 10. And if you can get 10 at a networking event, great. Can you get all of the people in the room? That's the key. Can you get all of the people in the room? When I do a networking event, I get all of the people in the room. Do you know why? Because it's my goal. 1, because I know the only way to get to the next level is I got to get all the contacts. And 2, I make sure that I get the list from the person who organized the event. I make sure that I added some value, offered something, gave something away for free, and then told the person, hey, everybody who was at the event, can you give me their email addresses so I can send this free thing to them? Yes? We get that? Hey, so there's a way to network with everybody in the room. And by offering something free that gets me on stage to talk about it for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, it's an extra step. Who's seen me at the Boston RIA? In fact, that's how you probably met me, right? You met me at the Boston RIA, met me at some other RIA. Excellent. This is something you can use. This is something you can do anywhere, everywhere. How do you 10X your networking? There's a lot of different ways. Now, your network becomes your net worth. So 10X your network. Write that down. 10 times the quality of friends, not the amount of friends. I didn't say amount. I said quality. So quality means you got to pick them from the right rooms. If you're looking to build a real estate empire and you're looking for like-minded people, do not go to the event that's all about how to buy horses, how to buy ponies. Does that make sense? You could be in a room full of people. You could be in a room, you go to a concert, see people everywhere and say, man, these guys all like Kiss. Me too. We probably could go build a business together. Probably not going to work out for you. It's the quality. You got to 10x the quality. Turn up the dial on the quality of the people and the quantity of the people, because 1/3 aren't going to like you anyway. We were talking about Grant Cardone and how polarizing his personality is. Well, 1/3 aren't going to like you. So that's okay. Get rid of that 1/3 so that you can move on to the next 1/3 that you're looking for. If you think you need 10,000 people, you really need 30,000 people, right? In order for me to build 100 millionaires, that means I got to sift through a lot of grains of sand. And so I know it's 1% of the people I train will become millionaires. And the way I know is because I've been through a lot of programs before. I've been in the room with everybody before. And then at the end, it was like me and 2 or 3 other guys who got really, really rich. And then everybody else is on my Facebook following me. Does that make sense? It's okay if you're one of those people on my Facebook following me. This is the lifeline. I'm sending it out saying, maybe this is your event. Maybe this is the one where you change your life and you become that successful person who gets everything that they deserve, because you know you deserve more. Is that fair to say? You already know it. You know that there's more out there for you. Excellent. So how do you 10x? How do you 10x your career, your life, your business? There are some simple steps. Write down the number, the amount of money you want to make this year. Write down the number you made last year. And here's the deal. Don't make those numbers more than double yet. Please don't think you know how to do the process. Don't jump ahead. Write down what you made last year and then write down double that. And if that overwhelms you, okay, pay attention. And if you think, oh, I could do way more than that, okay, pay attention. Just do the exercise. Go ahead, write it now. What you wrote, what you made last year on one line, then underneath it, doubling that. And that would be your goal for this year. Write that down. We don't have to put this in the chat box. This is just for us. This is personal. Here in America, talking about money is taboo, and everybody will judge you by what you make and what you're driving and what you have and what you've done. And so I don't want to put anybody into a shameful position by saying anything like put it in the chat, but let's do something that we can put in the chat. How many millionaires do you know right now? Think about it. Think about it right now. How many millionaires, going back to friends, how many millionaires do you know right now in your life? Millionaires, true millionaires, not like, oh, they're rich, they must be a millionaire. Like, you've had the conversation, you know their net worth is more than $1 million. Think about that number, write it down. Good job, Mike Shine. I bet you that's a sloppy 10. I bet you know way more than that. That's just off the top of your head. I know your network is better than that. 2, 15, nice. Millionaires. Had the conversation with them, know their net worth is more than $1 million. Excellent. Absolutely. Understand the power of those networks. Now take that number, write that down. Great job. Sloppy 10. Yeah, exactly, Mike. 2, great job. 3, excellent. 2, excellent. If you know more than one, you have an advantage over most people. If you know more than one millionaire, you are different from most people. Most people don't know a single millionaire. Does that make sense?
I know you.
And this is what, well, yeah, right? You want to touch a millionaire, become a millionaire.
Right here.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So most people don't know a millionaire. That's why they have an unfair disadvantage in the world. You look at this. Look at the list of people. It's 30. Good job, Jacob. 30, 3, 2, 9, 10, 7, 20, 15. These are good networks. These are people you could call up and they give you better advice about anything money related because they've been able to accumulate, acquire, and retain that money. Does that make sense? Now, think back to your relationships with these people. Have they given you good advice? Has the advice that's come from these millionaires been good or bad? Bad. Well, Saeed, I would say you're probably a one-off, and it's possible that they weren't actually a millionaire or they didn't have your best interests at heart. And that, I would say your situation would probably be the one-off. Or it's a very unique situation that's different from most. But it would be
Saeed, I thought we had a good conversation. I'm
We had a good conversation too.
really bummed out.
So actually, I'm very interested. And Said, as long as we can make it like 15 seconds, do you guys think it would be valuable to find out what the premise was on this conversation that he had? Excellent. So Said, what was the piece of advice that a millionaire gave you that was bad advice?
Well, see, the problem is the way, I asked them how they made their money. And what they told me was, hey, you just got married. You shouldn't get into real estate because it's a very dirty business. Why don't you just stick to your W-2 income? And you're going to be spending a lot of time with you have to spend a lot of time with your wife, otherwise she's going to leave you. So
And this was a real estate investor who said this?
Yes. Yeah. He just
So-
told me not to do it.
So what happened was they dismissed you. They dismissed you and they gave you the advice that they thought you wanted to hear. And so I will say that person just didn't believe in you, and that has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. It's 100% their thing. And so, yes, that is terrible advice. And if he actually cared and thought you were capable, then, and this is personal to him, has nothing to do with you, right? But if he thought like it would, like, because he knows that's not how you, and you didn't ask him how to become a millionaire, right?
Well, I asked him two questions. Number one, I asked him was, how did you get to where you are?
Yep.
It was like, it's very dirty. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It might not be worth it. And number two, what I asked him was if he would ever invest with me.
Right.
And he said no.
Right. And so he was being honest in that moment. At that time, it didn't make sense. Most investors don't need somebody else to invest with. And it is a dirty business. He was being very honest with you. It is a dirty business. It is very tough. There's a lot of learning curves. There's a lot of risk. But with the right mentors, with the right process, with the right tolerance, it can be extremely, extremely lucrative. And we're very honest in the mentorship program. We tell you right up front, hey, it's intensive. We're going to require a lot from you. There are no guarantees other than we're going to give you all the tools that work. And it will be a very aggressive, intensive program. And have you found that to be true so far, Syed? Aggressive, a lot to do? Yes. And you're doing it, and you're doing all the steps, and you are a future millionaire. You're already on your path and on the way there. And I would say that with any human being, not just millionaires, they can have a lapse in judgment. They can make a mistake judging somebody. They can make a poor decision. Syed is clearly somebody who's on the path to be successful. And for whatever reason, that person misinterpreted his intention or where he was going and his goals in life. And that's okay. Millionaires are not perfect. We just know how to retain money. So the conversation around how to make it, you're going to have a much better conversation with a millionaire because they can actually tell you the process, the steps, than somebody who isn't. And you've met other millionaires, right, Syed, who are very knowledgeable, giving you a lot of information, a lot of good advice. Excellent.
Yeah.
I've run into that too, but that's really, like Walter said, that's that person. There are people with a lot of money that have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
So when that happens, just move on to the next millionaire, because I've run into that too. It's their own issue. It has nothing to do with you. So
yeah. And so
there's also the fact that there's a lot of people that are very busy. And if you're not in the place where you're going to continue to go after them, they're going to see what you're made of too.
Yeah.
I had an experience with Mark Usick. I went after him for 9 months consistently before he said yes to me.
Yep.
And so you got to show that you're interested for them to be interested, because they can pick who they want.
Yep. And I would.
Grant Cardone chased after his wife for 13 months and sell or be sold until she finally acknowledged that he even existed.
Yep. That is the reality. I was telling everybody last night on the call, I had to chase Serena since June before she finally was like, I'm not just going to be a number. Like, no, I promise. Like, I had a bad reputation, and I don't know where it came from, but it was a work of art. I had to put all the sales skills into this, subtle, setting the trap, and it's worth it though. And if you have something in your life that you want so bad, do whatever it takes to get there. That's 10x, right? 10x on going into that relationship. And the millionaires out there are just like normal human beings. My mentor took me a long time to get in front of him. And the advice he gave me in the beginning was literally just to get rid of me. Right. And then when he realized I wasn't going anywhere, that's when the advice really became extremely valuable. So sometimes the richer they are, the more barriers they've had to put up because, you know, people come at them and they're like, oh, what do you know? What do you know? What do you know? And that's why we've created a forum like this where we can easily, the millionaires on the calls can easily deliver their value and information to you in a forum that's easy for us. Right now we have, Ron, how many people on the call? There's 34 people here. So we're having a one-on-one conversation with each other. I'm giving you the content that I know is right for you to move you forward. This is scalability. Instead of me being with 3 people, I'm with 34 people. That's 10x a one-on-one conversation. This is 30x. It's more powerful. And if you do have any questions, drop them in the chat. It makes it a lot easier for us to refer to and handle back later. So how do we 10x the amount of money we made last year and move it into a better relationship with money this year? We know we want to double. Now take that double number and 10x that number. Instead of doubling it, 10x it. 10x it. Write that number down. Yeah. Woo, it's a big number, isn't it? 10x that number. Now, when you think of doubling your income, you can think about the work steps that are processes that are necessary. There's a double of your plan, right? So that's the writing part that you're doing right now, the double of the plan. Then there's the double of the process, which is, okay, we've got this much volume coming through. How do we handle it? Then there's the double of the marketing. Okay, well, I want this much process and flow, so I've got to increase by this much to get double the results. And there's double of the sales team or sales energy. We've got to double down on what we're doing to convert more leads through. Does this make sense that this is the doubling process? Excellent. We agree that the doubling process would probably work. Who here's doubled their income ever before, ever? Even like when you were younger to now, you've doubled it at some point in your life. So we know it's possible. Who here stopped doubling their income recently or a few years ago, or has ever been in a point in their life where they stopped doubling their income? Excellent. Excellent. And so we're being honest with ourselves. Write down the reasons why you stopped doubling your income for that time period. Write them down, put them in the chat. Put the reasons why you think you stopped doubling your income. And they could be something like got comfortable. I love that. It's a good reason. Always had a W-2 job, right? So that's just, they set the bar and you just worked towards it. Some people like to say their kids, they got sick, they got, they went on a vacation, they realized what was important in life. There's so many different reasons. Go ahead. What are reasons that stopped you from doubling your income in the past? And don't be shy. It's okay. Family hardship, changed my business, create a new one, not enough leads, didn't see a way to get bigger. Excellent. These are great reasons. Great reasons. Got sick, started to settle. PTSD caused by 4 traumatic events. Resiliency went south. Yes, left a W-2 job. These are all reasons for stopping. Divorce, got injured. Yes, yes. These are real. These are real things that people walk around with every day. Rebranded business, had to play catch up. Absolutely. Wrong people around you. That's a real one. Okay, I'll give you that one. Very good. Now, these all feel real to you, yes? And then you're looking at other people's on here, and those look like real reasons too. Yes. Fair to say that everybody on here, and I know that you're attaching yourself to this reason, it's very emotional, and I want to tell you first, before I do anything painful to somebody, that I love you, I care about you, and I'm going to do this for you. So pay attention. Those are not reasons. Those are problems. Those are challenges. Those are opportunities. Those are things that when you double your income in those years, people say, holy shit, write a book. Does that make sense? The year I went through my divorce, The year I got down to negative $25,000. The year that I quit my job, that I started a new business. I went from accounting to sales, which, by the way, I was not this sexy salesperson in front of you. I was an accountant who didn't know how to dress, didn't know what the gym looked like, never been in a tanning booth, had crazy looking hair, and I was gonna go into sales. And by the way, I was homeschooled. So I had a lot of things going in my direction, right? This makes sense? And in that year, I 5 times my income. I went from making 17,000 to 115,000 in that year with all the adversity, because here's the difference. Here's how it actually works. When you've got nothing to lose, you've got everything to gain. And so when I got down to absolutely nothing, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to make 100,000. And then none of the other stuff matters because, hey, I'm already out of shape. I already got no relationships. I already got no money. I already got no job. I already got no credit. So fuck it. Why not just go hard in building something new? Because this thing I built in the past doesn't work. All of those challenges that came into your life, those were opportunities to be bigger and stronger faster. Those were opportunities to reach past, because 10Xing is not about working harder. I want to be very clear with you. 10Xing is not about you doing more with your time. Well, it's doing more with your time, but it's not you physically doing more. It's about you thinking bigger and doing the right things. Doing 10X things. 10X things are not harder. They're just different from the things you've been doing in the past. You've been doing 1 level things. Some of you have been doing 0.1 level things, right? Anybody earning $17,000 a year right now? And it's okay to throw your hand up for that because we're all going to encourage you not to. So I know what a $17,000 a year is, and I was doing less than 1, right? I was doing less than the average person, right? Minimum wage. I was under minimum wage. We get this? Humbling to say that I had to be there. I had to do it. But here's the great part to this story. I didn't stay there. And because, hey, I'm already like earning less than a normal human being. I'm worth less than a normal man. Does that make sense? Like when I was born, I was worth 0, and I found a way to be worth negative 25,000. And so the 10X rule came into my life, and I said, well, if I 10X the things that got me to 17, then I could probably get myself to making 100,000, like $170,000, right? If I 10X the things that work to get me 17, I could get to 170. And that was the mentality. It was just, and obviously there's some slippage, and I only got to 115, but do you think I cared? Dude, all I did was brag about the fact that I got to $115,000 for the first time in my life. I'd never done that before. So think about your business right now. There is no reason to ever stop increasing your income. There is no reason to ever stop increasing your net worth. There's no reason to ever stop increasing your net work. There's no reason to ever stop increasing the quality, health, and shape of your body. There is no reason to ever stop increasing the quality and happiness of your mind. These are things that endlessly continue. There's no end. It's not finite. Does this make sense? So why not actually 10X the goal? Why not actually go write down something so outlandish, work through the process of what it would actually take to get there, and then whisper to somebody really important to you, somebody really, really important to you. Whisper it to yourself and say, I'm going for this goal. I'm going, just whisper the goal to yourself and say, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this 10X thing. I'm gonna do these 10X steps. And then take that whisper and bring it to somebody who will hold you accountable. And then whisper it to them and say, I'm going for this. This is the plan I put together. What do you think? Will this get me to 10x of what I have right now? Write that process down. Write down those 10x thoughts, because thoughts become reality. Thoughts lead to feelings. Feelings lead to results, because feelings are the energy. So don't trust your feelings, use your feelings. If you feel a strong emotion around something, change the way you're thinking about it, and you'll get good results. If you feel a strong emotion around something and you don't like the feelings, you might not like the results. Does this make sense? Have you ever gotten really angry? Like, think about something that makes you really angry, really intense, really, really angry. And think about that energy. Feel the energy. Start breathing a little heavier. Start feeling that energy intensifying. I promise we're going to a good place, guys. I promise. So feel the energy, feel the intensity. And then think about something that's been stopping you in your life from moving forward in your business. Think about something that's been stopping you from moving forward in your fitness goals, and say, fuck it, today I'm doing this. Today I knocked this out of the park. Do you feel the results of that anger turning into something valuable? Could you see how that would be useful? Yes? Exercises like that are something you're going through every day. Every single day you experience these emotions. Has somebody made you upset today? Or do you think that it's possible that it may happen in the future, later today, at some point? Yes? It's reasonable to say something might happen. Excellent. Fuel! Excellent. Fuel to 10x something. The 10x goal, the reason behind it. So everybody's heard, I'm building the billion-dollar company. 10,000 units. And I know how to do it. And it's build 100 millionaires. I 10x my goal of building 10 millionaires. I just went and 10x'd it. Where do you stop 10xing? Because I could go to 1,000, I can go to 10,000. I think every 3 years. I found that every 3 years is a good range to 10x your goals. After you've 10x them, hold them for 3 years, crush them, and then go 10x them again. And hey, look, if you're faster than me, fucking nobody's going to cry for you, right? Like, you're not going to hear me be like, oh man, I can't believe you beat your goals in 3 years. Your 10x goals in 3 years. Does this make sense? I agree. And the reason I know it's possible is because I've done it, right? Now, I used to think, if for all the real estate investors, where are the real estate investors at? Hands to the camera. Go ahead. Yeah. I used to think units were the game. I used to think units were the play, and I was looking at the wrong units. I wasn't looking at freedom points, right? You got to look at freedom points. They're a little different from rental properties, right? Units. And it was an awareness that, because I've been at the size portfolio we have right now. Me and Ron have been to 42 units. We held 42 units for a long time. And then we went up to 57 units, back down to 44. But this 44 units, we only have 40% debt on. An equity position of 60%. Does that make sense? And we have a debt pay down of almost 2%. So every year our tenants are paying down that debt 2%. And who cares about appreciation? Who cares about the tax advantages, the depreciation we're getting? We're getting this amortization built into the portfolio because we're looking at it differently. We're thinking, how do we get more passive income, not necessarily more units? And by transferring and managing a certain amount of units, doing a certain amount of 1031 exchanges, flips, and changes of our property portfolio, we're able to get more cash flow with less doors. At 42 units, we had 12 doors, 12 buildings. At 44 units, we have 4 buildings. Does that make sense? Much easier to manage. The properties are worth way more. And the tenants pay more, better quality. So you have the ability to write good goals. And I've talked about, some of my sexual exploits before. I talked about how badly I wanted the threesome. I thought it was so important. Well, here's the deal. In 1 week, and Darina knows the story, right? So in 1 week, suddenly all those opportunities opened up for me. It was like every girl I talked to had a girl that she wanted to introduce me to in that way. And I remember being like, oh my God, shit, I might have asked for the wrong thing. because this sounds like a lot of freaking work. And and after the first one, I was like, yeah, that's true. And then it became foursomes were an option. They were on the table, and I realized I'd asked for the wrong thing. I'd gone too far in the wrong direction. And units were the same thing for me. So all the guys out there, trust me, if you focus on the right girl, 10x the quality of the girl. Me and Mitch Jaworski were talking about this the other day, last night. 10x the quality of the girl, 10x the quality of the man, 10x the quality of your relationship, what you're putting into your current existing relationship, and it will help you 10x your business. When I decided to 10x all aspects of my life, boom, my 10x goals for my business became easier, right? Because you start thinking about everything you're doing. How do you, yeah, what's going on in the chat now? He did, yeah, thanks, Darren. We don't need to support that too much. Right, there you go, Ryan. It's a lot of work. I'll be real with you. A lot of work involved. Now, what is not a lot of work is 44 units that are at 60% equity position and higher cash flow rates. And what's not a lot of work is one woman who does all the things, focuses on the business, enjoys meditation, enjoys doing the reading, enjoys talking about the business. Instead of thinking you have to find that in so many different people, you can find it in one person. It's quality. So 10x the quality. And then in your business, 10x your planning. We talked about 10xing your life, 10xing your goals, 10x planning. 10x the quality of your planning. How much time do you spend planning your business right now? Is it an hour a month? Is it an hour a year? Is it an hour a week? Do you spend an hour a day? Think about how much you're spending time-wise on planning your business. Some of us are financial planners, right? We're planning everybody else's lives, everybody else's businesses. How much time are you spending on planning your own business? And when you're planning your own business, are you 10xing those goals? Are you looking at the 10x goal, or are you looking at this year, 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 this year? Every Sunday for the past 2 or 3 years, I have looked at my business and said, how do I 10x it? How do I get that 10x goal? And I spend 2 to 6 hours on that. Look, the rest of the week, I know my team's working on how do we hit our this year goal. Do I have to work on the this year goal if I know all my employees, all of my partners, all my business partners, my coaches, my agents are working on that goal? No, I just said I let them know what it was, and I know that their job is to hit that goal. It's that 10x goal that nobody's fucking thinking about, that you have to think about. It's your responsibility. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to come in and be like, hey, Ryan McDermott, I think you should have a net worth of $10 million. Go get it, bro. Like, nobody's going to come up to you and be like, $10 million, you haven't hit it? What do you mean? We're fired, right? Like, it's just not going to happen, all right? Melanie, nobody's going to come over and be like, hey, Mel, you should have 10 Subways instead of 2. Like, did you think about that? Like, maybe lean into the problem. I know you don't want more Subways. I know. But maybe we should get your Subways worth 10 times as much before we sell them. Like, nobody's doing that for you. I had it in one conversation, but nobody's waking up saying, like, Steve's not there like, Mel, let's make these 10x. Like, let's 10x these Subways before we sell these things, right? And now if you told him to, he would. I know Steve pretty well. If you asked for that, just be careful. He will every day tell you. And so that's the accountability of the spouse. Right, Darina knows 10,000 units. She knows $1 billion net worth. She knows 1,000 agents in the network. She knows having built 100 millionaires means I got to go through 10,000 students. Does this make sense? And she also doesn't expect me to do it today. Isn't that sweet of her? I told you at the beginning, I tell you what my leverage is, what my highest leverage is, what the most valuable thing I can do to hit my goal is, what the biggest lever, and by the way, write down this question. What is the biggest lever for me to hit my 10x goal? What is the biggest lever for me to push, pull, drag, whatever you got to do, tie up the pickup truck to it and slam that thing to hit that goal, the 10x goal? And for me, I've spent a lot of time on this. What I discovered was, first, it was the book. if I built the asset, that's like a college degree in the stage speaking world. Does that make sense? Then the podcast, that's like having a master's degree in the success world, in the coaching arena. And then I thought, you know what's even better? Because I've got to get to 10,000 people. That means I got to get in front of 30,000 people. How do you get in front of 30,000 people? It was getting on other people's podcasts. And so I have a podcast with Mike Shine. We go once a week. And that podcast is the 100 Millionaires Podcast. And if you're awesome and you're a millionaire and you want to be on the podcast and you want to teach people how to do it, you're welcome to join us. That's the 100 Millionaires Podcast. Mike Shine will set you up. He'll bring us in and we'll get it going. But that was once a week. It was a powerful podcast with a lot of great information, a lot of great content. We think it's going to be able to, we know that the information we're talking about will get people moving forward, but it wasn't getting me on stages. And so I had a conversation with Ron and I said, Ron, I've got to get on more stages. I've got to get on more podcasts. I got to do something. I got to like really like just punch the world in the face so that I can build more millionaires, because I'm selfish and I got a mission that's really important to me. And I've got to build these millionaires so that these millionaires can go build more millionaires. Because if we don't go out and do this, who will? And if we don't stop poverty, who will? And if we don't do this fast enough, there's going to be a lot of people who are hurt when the middle class gets crushed, wiped out. And watching the next 2 to 3 years, it's gone. Middle class is fucking gone. They're about to get destroyed by inflation. They're getting destroyed by the jobs changing, leaving, moving. I'm hiring in India and Philippines, and I don't even feel bad about it anymore. I'm like, yeah, you know, they're just cheaper and smarter. So let's do this. And there's something coming that if people are not financially educated, financially taken care of, Robert Kiyosaki started this, and there's so many other people who are out there on this mission. But if we don't go out and do our piece, there's people who you could have touched who are going to miss out on the opportunity. And so I went to Ron and I said, like, I'm finding that when I go to other influencers and I have them come on my podcast, they're inviting me on their podcast and their audience, and they're sharing the video that I post on their platforms and saying, hey, you know, I just did this interview with this alchemist guy and, you know, check it out. And then I'm getting more views, and I'm only doing the podcast once a week. And I said, what if I did the podcast every day? Like, what if I just every single day reached out to an influencer, brought them on a podcast, and I had this daily podcast? And Ron was like, yeah, that's how PewDiePie got made. PewDiePie, for anybody who doesn't know, is a YouTuber with like purple hair and does like kids videos and is apparently the highest paid YouTuber on the planet. And so he's like, that's how, you know, this guy got made. Fucking phenomenal name too. Maybe that's what it was. I'm going to switch mine. So it was daily. And the other day I was in one of my epiphanies where I'm sitting there Sunday, I'm in my office over here. And if you haven't seen it, it's cool, right? I got this little chill area over there for thoughts, for thinking. And that's where Sunday's spent. And I realized daily would be how PewDiePie got made, right? How the richest YouTuber got made, how he got the big audience. What if I did an hourly podcast where I was just reaching out to influencers for 4 hours a day, did my one thing every day, 4 hours a day? That's 16 people I could do in 4 days, 20 people in 5 days. What if I worked the weekends? And it got to this point where I was like, holy shit, like I can create years worth of content in 2 weeks. I can create a whole year's worth of content in 2 weeks. And if I do this for a year, I can create 25 years worth of content in a year. And that's 10x, right? That's 10x influence. That's like, will there even be people left to interview going at that breakneck speed? Does that make sense? That's 250 interviews. That's ridiculous. No, it's not. That's more than that. That's whatever fucking 5 times 5 times 250 is. It's 1,000 interviews. We talked about the outliers, right? Outliers is people who've gone and put the 10,000 hours in, the 7 years to master their craft. And so I don't have the systems to do it right now. We understand that I know what I'm going to do, but I don't know how to do it. Is that okay? That you know what you're going to do, but you don't know how to do it?
You need to know how.
It's okay. That's how this works. So this was 2 weeks ago. I came up with a decision. And yesterday I hired a virtual assistant to make sure that all I do is reach out to people and interview people. Reach out, interview, reach out, interview. I drop content into a folder, and that folder turns into my 55 different pieces of content all across my different platforms. And it will take some time for me to build this up and train them and get them going. Maybe it'll take a week. Maybe it'll take 2 weeks. Maybe it'll take a month. There's a lot of stuff that I have to teach. A lot of systems. I got to learn how to write the descriptions the way I write them. I got to learn how to write the blogs the way I write them. There's a lot of training behind all this. But do you think it'd be worth it to be able to build 100 millionaires who build 100 millionaires? And because I'm finding I got to go through a lot of people. In my mentorship program, I know for sure that this year, 2 of our members will become millionaires this year. The others I know are a year or 2 out, 2 years out. Some of them are even 3 years out. And you know who you are. And guys, I had to go through the same freaking process. There's no skip, jump ahead. It's a little bit of work. Some will go faster. Some will take 5 years. It's okay, right? Nobody's going to cry if you're a millionaire in 5 years. Yeah. Who here would be okay with being a millionaire in 5 years? Yes. No matter what it took, if you had to read a lot of books, right? If you had to go through the 250 books to get there, it'd be okay if that's what it took. If I said all you gotta do is read books and do what they said, that'd be okay. Yeah, I agree. I was willing to do that too. I was willing to take 7 years. I was willing to take 10 years. I was willing to commit 15 years. Because much like you right now, I didn't care anymore about what other people thought. I didn't care about what it would take, because I was ready to take something else more precious, right? And I don't like to go to this place or say this or do this, but I was willing to take my life because I'd lost everything. And I think that necessity is relative. If you believe that what you're doing is necessary, you'll put everything into it. And so I want you to take a moment and look at that 10x goal that you've written down. Look at that 10x plan, that commitment to doing it, and say, if I don't do this, it's like dying to me. It's like, this is the only thing that means that I've left something on this planet. Going after this goal means that I've left something for somebody else. I've left a breadcrumb trail for the next generation, for my kids, for my family. I've left some legacy behind so that the world's a better place. If you put that down on paper, you will attain and understand that it's necessary to leave something behind. You can't just come and go in life and have, oh, I had fun, I had experiences, so I lived. Nah, if you didn't leave the world a better place, what was the point in you being here? And for some people, they're not willing to take on that mission, and that's okay. I'm not here for those people, right? I'm here for you. I'm here for the people still on this call, the people who want to leave something better, who believe that the world can be a better place, who here has children that they brought into this world. And have you ever thought, shit, the world's a darker, scarier place than when I was born? It's a crazier place than when I was raised. If you've ever experienced that, then it's your mission, your responsibility to make something better. Make it a little bit better for them so that they have a better chance. Learn a couple things, become a bigger, better person so that you can leave a bigger, better legacy and lesson behind for them, so that when challenges come, they can take on those challenges. Yes? By becoming a millionaire, you have to not just learn and do and work, you have to become a millionaire. There's a whole process behind becoming a bigger person that you have to go through. You guys are getting something out of this. You are learning something today that is going to stay with you and go deep into your soul and have a little place in there for when times get tough, when people are beating you down, when somebody judges you, when somebody says, oh yeah, but what about having fun, ma'am? What about having fun, bro? Like just enjoy yourself. You can look back and say, yeah, I could, but if I did, I'd be letting down these people who I'm thinking about right now, these people who are such a priority. I'd be letting down my mission, my purpose, what I'm here for. And so I will enjoy myself, and I will finish my task, and I will get more efficient about it. I'll 10x everything. I'll 10x my planning. I'll 10x my efficiency. I'll 10x my friends, my relationships. I'll 10x it all, because at the end of the day, there's only one thing we leave behind, and that's the legacy. That's the lessons we've taught other people. It's the feelings and education we were able to inspire into other people. That's what stays behind. And if you do it right, you've trained them to inspire other people. That makes sense? So the call to action for the 100 millionaires is to build another 100 millionaires. It's no joke. It's no small task. It's work. It's a grind. It's education. It's the most fun work I've ever done. I get to all day get on podcasts, talk to millionaires, say, hey, I'm rich, you're rich too. How'd you do it? Hey, this is what I did. What do you think people could do right now? Because I know times have changed. What can people do right now? What are you doing right now? And here's the deal with millionaires. We don't stop making millions. We just find new ways to do it. Whether what's working right now in the market, let's figure it out. Mike Shine, let's build another million, right? Ryan, Terry, let's go build another million. This is the conversations we're having.
10x.
10x. When we get together, we're like, how do we do this again, right? Does what we did before still work, or do we got to adjust something? What's the new way to make a million?
We just had a conversation about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the strategy, and that's the conversation that we continue to have, because it's about teaching other people. And so we're constantly learning. We're constantly learning what we're doing. That said, mentorship program, I'm going to sell it. If you don't like sales, well, that's probably why you're not good at sales. You got to fall in love with sales. You got to fall in love with selling. Every time I see somebody sell, I'm like critiquing the whole time. All right, I didn't like the way that made me feel. Ooh, he's making me want to buy his product. What did he just do? What'd she just do? All right, write that down. And so I love learning from great salespeople. And so you'll see a great presentation. So if you're interested in learning more about sales, stick around. And if you think you're one of those people who doesn't want to be sold to, that no, I'm not selling, cool. You can click off now, because you won't gain anything from this other than, oh, I feel like he just wasted my time with a sales pitch, and I don't want that reputation. I do openly, honestly like to tell you that I'm about to sell. We all grasp this? You're like, sign the waiver you're about to be sold to? Excellent. Take the lesson. You can sell this in every business ever, all the time, whether you're selling something as small as sandwiches, haircuts, or houses. This is the sales pitch you use for everybody. You ready? Okay. So I have this mentorship program. It's how I build millionaires. Now, it's not for the weak. It's not for the broke. This is for people who are willing to bet on themselves, people who believe in themselves. This is not for the emotionally, the emotional babies. This is not for the people who don't think that they're capable of something. This is not, I'm not here to massage you and say, yeah, you can do it. This is for people who already know they can do it, know that it's possible. And then I'm going to take you to the next level. And will I say, yeah, you can do it? Of course, because I've been there. I know the struggles you're going to go through, and I know how difficult it can be to get past that bridge. But there is the possibility in you already, and you know that. That's why people sign up for the mentorship program. Now, the people who have signed up for the mentorship program, if you're on the call still, put your hand up to the camera. Say, yup, I'm a future millionaire. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So everybody who's signed up for it has been put through a lot of work. What I just did was called social proof. Is it okay that I break down my sales pitch as I go through it? That's social proof. It's the ability to say, oh shit, like everybody's doing this. Cool. Yeah. Awesome network of people. Awesome people sign up for awesome programs. And now we're tying it together. Is it cool that I give away the sales pitch as I sell? Yes. I give away a lot more behind the curtains. This is selling the future. This is letting you know about what's there beyond the curtain, the mystery of how much more there is. The people who come through this program are different. They're not like everybody else. These are people who want to become millionaires. I'm now setting the goal and the standard. People who want to become millionaires join programs like this. And specifically, ask any one of my future millionaires if they're on track, if they're doing the right things, if they've read 6 books, if in the matter of 6 to 8 weeks, if they've gone and filled out a personality assessment and figured out who they are and how to actually attack their business based on their strengths, not on their weaknesses. We're not about, hey, you got a weakness, fix it. Nope, you got a weakness, hire it, replace it, bring somebody else in. The mentorship program is designed to make you move faster. I don't believe in making $1 million over 40 years. So what? Everybody else is doing that. Anybody on this planet, you give them long enough, they'll make $1 million. We're doing it in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years. Yes, Mike, in 5 years.
So
3 to 5 years. Well, you said 3, yeah.
I think
3 to 5 years.
Since I've gotten into this, I think I've realized that the people who participate can get it done in under 2 years. I know it.
Because it's about doing the right things and getting your mind right. And that's what we do. We have coaches, celebrity coaches in our program. And our celebrity coaches have written books on the mind. They've written books on how to serve. They've written books on how to train people for success. They've written books on how to become a millionaire, how to build your first $250,000. I have other coaches in the program that have written books on how to find motivated sellers, how to reach out to senior citizens. Brant Phillips, private lender playbook, right? Coaches, these are people who have access to because, okay, so everybody who's not worked with Brant or Max Keller, these guys are coming on board. We're bringing them in. So we're constantly seeking out new talent, new celebrity coaches. These are people you get a one-on-one coaching session with and the opportunity to work with in our sessions. There's a lot of value. And by spending time with successful people, you become a successful person as part of the process. You also get one-on-one coaching session with me. Here's something to understand. I don't do one-on-one coaching sessions. For years, I've told everybody I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't do this. I'm offering it now because it's necessary for me to make sure you're in the program the right way. It's necessary for me to know who you are, what your goals are, what you're doing, because the rest of the program is pretty consistent. And we want to make sure that as we're putting you through it, you're in it the right way. You can start in at any time. We have people in the program for 6 weeks now, people in 1 week. There's the ability to just jump in. It's treated like a coaching, an accountability program where yes, it's $500 a month if you treat it that way, where you're jumping back in and every couple of months you start over. It's expensive. It's expensive. And guys, if you're selling a product that's expensive, make sure you tell them that. Hey, you know what? Some people think this is expensive. I've been told that it's expensive for people who didn't believe in themselves, for people who didn't have 2 nickels to rub across each other. Yeah, no, I'm not going to have you go and put it on a credit card if all you have is that credit card. So it's $1,000. If all you have is a credit card for $1,000, I'm not going to tell you to sign up for this program. Does that make sense? This is for people who have a little bit of money in the bank. This is for people who have a little bit of opportunity going for them. Maybe you've got a job that pays the bills. Maybe you got a credit card with a credit line of $5,000, $10,000. Well, that makes more sense to make a $1,000 investment because it's something you know you can pay off quickly. It's something that you know you can get the return on investment from. This is the beginning program. I'm not selling a $20,000, $30,000 program yet because I haven't built it. I haven't built something worth $100,000. And so when I build something worth $100,000, I'll sell it for $25,000. Does that make sense? I'm one of those guys who genuinely believes, and I think that you can get this from me already. When I sit down with Ron, we say, how do we make a $10,000 program and jack it into a $1,000 price point? How do we build a $10,000 program, sell a $10,000 program, and then only charge $1,000? Because at the end of the day, it's about results. And I know that if I have a lower price point, I can bring more people into the funnel, right? You gotta understand our mission. Our mission, we make millions buying real estate. We make millions through our real estate agency. That's where our money comes from. This training program is a marketing tool to find business partners worth partnering with. It's a marketing tool to hit my personal mission that keeps me awake, that keeps me going after I retired at 30 years old and need to find something better to do. Who here knows what retirement's like and knows like, holy shit, yeah, you got to find something to do. Otherwise you might die. So yeah. So typically 6 years after retirement, people die. And so I realized, well, I retired at 30, that's dangerous. And after living in Vegas for 3 months, I realized that's dangerous. And so I had to find something bigger. So people ask why I still work. It's so I don't fucking die. Like, holy shit, have you seen the alternative? They're like, well, when are you gonna live? Dude, like, if you live too much, you die. Apparently that's the process. And so you have to have something big in your life to work towards. And so this program not only brings you in with the understanding that you're going to be something bigger, you're going to help other people be bigger. And that's why we charge $1,000. Ron, can you put the quote in there? It's Walter, not the quote, the link, waltermurillo.com/mentor. Put it in the chat. So anybody who's looking to sign up to the mentorship program, you just click that link, you put your money in, and then we do the rest. Oh, no, actually, you got to show up every Monday at 8 o'clock. You got to hang out on the call with us. Then you got to go do the homework, and you've got to do the accountability. So there's a net worth tracking sheet that we have you fill out so that you can see your net worth, so that you can understand what your actual net worth is. And then we have you track it and move it every single week, adjusting it. It's more intense than anything you've ever been a part of, I promise. This is like more intense than college, and the results are more powerful in college. College, you got out with maybe a $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 job, some of you less. And this, you come out with the blueprint to build yourself a business worth having. If you already own a business, I'm going to teach you how to sell the business. I don't care what business you're in. I'm going to set it in your mind so you start looking at that business as saleable. If you own real estate, I'm going to have you look at that real estate and think about pyramiding it and getting it to be simpler to manage, getting it to be worth more, and continuing to grow. Does this make sense? You can't hang out with me without and listen to me without having these thoughts in your head. I've had everybody who's ever communicated with me said, you can't do it in my business. Nope, real estate's too much work. You can't manage it the way that you're saying manage it. And then by the end of the program, they're like, oh, fuck, like there might be something there. There might be something there, and it is sellable. It is possible. It's 100% easy to manage this much property. I literally could forget where my properties are. I literally could forget. I don't know who all my tenants are if I didn't care enough about them and my business. It's important to me to know where they are. I do it because it's a little bit of an ego thing. I know my tenants. I have them on my Facebook. I invite them to these trainings because I care about my tenants and I want to see them do well as well. And let me do a quick scan. Let me do a quick scan through here. And not a single one of my tenants on this call. Is it a question? Is it interesting? Is it obvious that I'm rich because I do things that are different? I go to trainings. I hire mentors. I hire coaches. I'm a part of masterminds. Is it interesting that my tenants are just my tenants because they don't believe in themselves enough to go into trainings? Yeah. And it's one of those things, man. I have reached out to so many people. I want so many people to do well. And at the end of the day, the only people who you can ever take seriously, and write this down, in your business, the only people you can take seriously are the people who've paid to be there, who've put money down on the product, who've put money down on themselves to be there working with you. If you're a real estate agent, you better make sure that they're pre-approved. If they haven't gone through and gotten their credit pulled, they're not a buyer. If they're somebody who owns a property and not willing to put a sign on their yard saying that they're selling, they're not committed. They're not in. Does that make sense? If you're a financial advisor and you're not taking a retainer, if you're an attorney not giving a retainer, they don't take themselves seriously enough to pay you. It's no reflection of you. If you're a contractor not taking a down payment, a deposit, it's just that they don't take themselves seriously with this project. Are there any other trades? What trades have I missed? Who else is on here? If you're a doctor, right? If you're a nurse and they haven't decided they're going to pay you a salary before you show up, if they haven't decided on a dollar amount they're going to pay you, if you show up this week, they're going to pay you next week. They're not that serious about hiring you, are they? This making sense? I wouldn't go work for somebody who hasn't agreed to pay me. Yeah. Don't do that for yourself. And I won't do that in my coaching program. So if I've said, yes, I want to coach you, and they say, cool, coach me, I say, here's how you sign up and here's how you pay me. Because at the end of the day, your time is valuable, and I don't want to waste your time with stuff you're not going to put into use. And that's I've got shelf help back there. I got programs that were given to me for free. I got programs that were sent to me from other people. I got programs I paid for that they threw in bonuses that I didn't care about, right? So I call it shelf help. But Ron makes fun of me all the time for all these programs I paid for. And he's like, dude, you paid for it. I was like, no. I paid for the one-on-one coaching with the coach. They gave me that program in the package, right? They just gave me that. I paid for the 3-day event where I got all the information, and I didn't pay for that digital product. Right? I didn't pay for that pamphlet or that book or that program, whatever it was. Does this make sense? Yeah, there's one. There's an expensive one. There's a $1,000 one right there. Yeah. And phenomenal program. Phenomenal. People have gone through it, love it, does a great job for them. At the end of the day, you appreciate what you pay for. And so make sure you're charging your clients. And if you're interested in joining the mentorship program, dude, I'm looking to build 100 millionaires. I got to go through a bunch of these. And if you're already in the mentorship program, renew, because we're not done yet. I haven't made you a decamillionaire yet. Or that $1 million is going to take a little while. Let's keep going, keep running it. And if you feel you've gotten the maximum out of the program and you want to move on to somebody else's program, please write a review. Let people know what we've done, what we've created for you. I love that. I appreciate it. That said, I'm going to open this up to the people in our mentorship program. Feel free to ask any questions. If you're looking for something, if you're looking for help, feel free to ask. If you're looking for a property type, feel free to ask. If you're looking for, and I'm not going to go through like I normally do and going through the order, I'm going to open this up to the people in my mentorship program who already know exactly what they want. They have the balls to put their hands up, or they have the chutzpah to put their hands up and say something. And then we'll talk about what you got going on. And feel free to say, hey, I'm hiring this, or I'm looking for this. I'm looking for property. This is your chance. Feel free, open up the lines. Any questions you have, what are you looking for? And we'll go through this real quick. Mitch Jorsky, whoa, what's up, bro?
Who's becoming millionaires with us? What's going on right
Millionaires!
now? Millionaires.
Line it up.
I see like 3 or 4 just real quick looking. I can recognize them. I see you. My net worth keeps going up every time I talk to this guy. It's weird, but so that's why I came to. I'm like, more wealth. Let's go, baby.
Love it, Mitch. Thanks for the review, man. See that?
Oh, yeah. Get on it, people.
That's Mitch Jorsky, the author of the book, Scaredy Cat Guide to Investing in Real Estate. Phenomenal character. Syed, go ahead. See your hand up, brother.
I do have a question for you, Walter.
Bring it on, Syed.
So you mentioned that you scaled back from 57 or 59 units to 44 units.
Sure.
And you mentioned that your goal is 10,000 units. Just trying to understand why, if you were trying to scale to 10,000 units, what was the reasoning behind scaling it back to 44?
Excellent. Oh, great question. Who else wants to know this answer? And great, you found the logical fallacy, right, Syed? So what we do is something called pyramiding. So we sell, we'll say we sell 50, right, to buy 100. That's the strategy. It's pull yourself into a better leverage position, get yourself an asset that you know is going to appreciate a little better, and then hold it, and then move it into something else, and keep finding assets that are better, selling off the stuff that's not so good, moving forward, taking those 1031 exchanging into the future. And so in order to get to 10,000, there are only 2 ways to do that. Either one, you find $10,000 worth of units and you partner up with everybody, which if you pay attention, that is one of our strategies. Or 2, you go and you find that many units and you make enough money to buy that many units, straight cash, your own money. And that's done through flipping property, so selling property. So that's one of the reasons we've consolidated the portfolio, is to get into a better cash position, to move into more property, to get into a better cash position in case opportunities come up and the banks won't lend. So the sale of property was simply to get into a better position, to pick up more property. So great question. And so what are you looking for property? I know you're out there in Worcester
County. I'm looking to buy any single family, multifamily value add properties. And if you have land that you're looking to sell, or if you know anyone who's looking to sell, I'll be more than happy to look at it and buy it all cash.
Excellent. Very good. And mentorship members, all you future millionaires, put your contact information in the chat now. Put what you're looking for. Put in, I'm looking for, if you're Ryan McDermott and you're looking for multifamilies in Dedham, Mass., put in that I am Ryan McDermott. I'm the king of financial advising, and I'm looking for properties in Dedham, Mass., 3-family plus. We'll pay cash, and there you go. Mike Shine, go ahead.
So I know Terry's going to help Stephanie with this one, but I just wanted to hear your advice on this, because I think you probably have some really good advice. She says that all she's meeting are a-holes, and
Stephanie, so stop dating guys like me. You'll be fine, right? So here's the deal. When it comes to who you attract, it's because two pieces. One, who you are inside, and then who you believe you deserve. Who you believe you deserve, and who you are inside. If you find that inside you're a non-committal, fun person who just wants to go around and hang out with a bunch of people, you're probably going to attract a non-committal, fun person who just wants to hang out with a bunch of people, right? And then if inside you believe that the relationships you will attract are only going to ever be superficial relationships, that they can never appreciate the true gold that you have inside, then some of the things that you say and do will manifest themselves in that relationship. Does that make sense? So Stephanie, as a very close friend, as a business partner, I know you personally, and I know the people that you've dated, I know the people you hang out with, and I know that it's because you believe that's what you deserve. And when you decide that you want something different, you'll get something different.
awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We attract what we are, as within, so without. And so
I'm not an asshole.
Well,
hey. Everybody's got one. But believe, so instead of saying I'm around assholes, say I only attract the best men. I only attract loyal men, the best men, business building men. I only, like, just focus on that and write it down. And it may take a little while for you to believe it, right? It may take a little while for you to believe it. When I was looking for women who were down with a threesome, I used to write down affirmations, the power of affirmations. I'd be like, I'm only looking for women who are into other women. And I attract them and they attract other women, and it's a fun experience. And that's an example of a bad way of using the power of attraction, the law of attraction. You can do this to manifest the perfect relationship. Dorina was manifested simply by saying, I am attracting a woman who is in my business, who wants me on stages constantly, who is down for me to help people build wealth, and has built wealth themselves, and is obsessed with real estate investing, and wants to see the world a better place, and wants to see me on stage. I want a girl who would not get jealous when I'm on stage, but be excited to have me up there. Does that make sense? I wrote that down and said it over and over. And I remember being at the Newton networking event one day, and Dorina was on stage, and she looked over at me and she smiled, a smile that said, look at me on stage. I'm so proud of myself, and I'm looking for your respect because I'm so proud of what you've accomplished. And it was just this look. And I said, oh man, that's mine. It just instantly, I was like, whatever it takes, like I'm all in. And it took a long time. It was not a simple process. She was no easy fish to catch. And trust me, Stephanie, you are gold. You're an amazing woman. You're a business owner. You're building a massive business, a massive following. You're inspirational. Your Facebook posts are entertaining, fun, and just make sure that you're presenting yourself in the light of who you are and not what you think other people want. Attract the person who's going to love you just the way you are, and you will be very satisfied with the results. And write it down, do the affirmations, do whatever it takes to get there. You know, picture that person. Tony Robbins says it, write it all down, write down the perfect person, detail the color of their eyes, right? Bald head, whatever that perfect person is, and write it down. And then like, just know that that's coming, know that that's attracting, and then keep your eyes open. hey, if that perfect person walks by, grab them. Like, don't just be like, well, they'll come to me. No, like, this is life. Like, grab by the horns. Like, go get that person, whatever it takes. Set the trap, right? Set the trap. Do what you got to do. Hunt. Cupid, the god of love, has a bow and freaking arrow, right? Like, God didn't set him out there with, like, here's some pixie dust. Like, he didn't give him the stuff that puts you to sleep, right? Cupid has a bow and arrow, right? Hunt. Like, go and look for that person. But also be open to it coming when it comes. Does that make sense?
But I'm the catch.
Huh?
I said, I'm the catch. You're supposed to hunt me.
Yeah, you're a catch. So am I. Here's the deal. If you don't go out there hunting, you may miss the opportunity. You absolutely are a catch. And you absolutely deserve something amazing. But if you don't go out there hunting, you may miss the opportunity because you're such a catch, they may not think that they can get you.
That's true.
All right. And they may be doing something else with their life that they're just not paying attention.
They might be dating 3 girls at a time.
Hey, you know what? when in sales, right? When in sales, one lead, one prospect is close to none prospects. So you always want to keep the funnel full and never commit until you know they've committed. So relationship advice, sales advice, it's all the same. Life is sales. Go out and sell yourself. But make sure that you never give more than you're getting in return. Make sure you're getting way more in value, well, in cash value than you're giving in value, right? So make sure that you're getting far more than you're putting out there so that, and you got to understand in relationships, you're giving one thing, they're giving something else. You don't want 2 people giving the same thing. It's unvaluable. This makes sense? So whatever your one thing is that you love to give, make sure it's the thing they love to receive, and make sure that their thing that they love to give is the thing that you love to receive. And take your time finding it. It's not an overnight battle. It'll take time. What else? What other questions? And give Stephanie a round of applause. Great question. I know she might have been joking, but we'll give a real answer. Be careful what you ask.
I wasn't ready for it's too early for that. I got my coffee. Don't worry.
All right. What's next? What else we got? Thank you, Steph. Wealth principle number 20. Hashtag 20 wealth principles 10x. Excellent. So that's on Instagram. That's cool. What else? What questions do you have? Mentors. Keeping this to everybody. If you're in a mentorship program, please put down your information, what you're looking for. What is it? So what else? What else we got going on? What is something you're looking for? Question 10x. Hey, here's a fun one. Who wants to share their 10x goals? Who's got a 10x goal that you want to share because you think that it'd be valuable for the group? Go ahead, Mike.
I started with saying I wanted 50 units, and after I read the 10x rule, I 10x that to 500, and then actually somewhere in the middle I changed that to 500. But then at some point I said, this is kind of silly. If you're going to do 500, you might as well do 5,000. So when I write in my journal, I write, I see myself owning 5,000 units, cash flowing with happy tenants. So that's the 10x.
So Mike, actually, 10x. Since we're having the conversation, Mike, 10x book of the week.
All right.
Book of the week.
You already did it. You did the whole book. This Grant Cardone does the Audible. I love the Audible so much. I bought the book. There's lots of exercises at the end. It's an amazing book. He just gets you. I mean, there's tons of information in it, but he just gets you so amped up, and he makes it so simple. And one of the things I love is that he doesn't worry about whether the action he's taking is the right action. He just says, take action. You know, you can course correct as you go. Just go. Just go and take massive action. I mean, crazy. When I was reading this book the first time, I couldn't believe the stuff that happened. We bought like 3 properties. We just, I don't know, just 10x just crushed it. So put it on your Audible, drive around your state, and by the time you get back home, you'll own 10 more properties.
guarantees, not
Yeah, no guarantee.
not backed by Alchemist Community.
10x.
10x. Mike's advice is 10x.
You
And
said a nice story about, you said with Ron, I don't know if people heard that story of you at the 10x conference and what you ended up doing
It
there.
froze up. What was it?
You went to the 10x conference and you said you wanted to get up into the VIP section.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Ron leveled me up, right? So we went to 10x, and we were sitting up in the mid nosebleeds, right? So we weren't like super poor people way at the top, but we also weren't like, hey, let's pay $15,000 for our tickets, right? So we were mid-level. I think our tickets were the 500 or the 750, 775 that I bought for 250 each, right? So I got the cheaper tickets and the executive. And so Ron was like, hey, the rich people are down there. And yeah, he's like, you should go down there, you know, and I'll take a picture or video of you down there. And I was like, I don't belong down there. That's where the rich people go, right? Like, and so he set the challenge. It's like, well, you don't think you can do it? You know, like I guess if you can't do it, you know, if you don't think it's possible for you, I guess if you don't really want to. And I was like, yeah, no, I'll be back. And I started walking, and I walked past the security guards, and then I walked past the security guards, and then I walked past the security guards, right up to the front row of 10X GrowthCon. And I had a conversation with a gentleman sitting front row. And this gentleman, I asked him, what do you do to collect money? And he laughed. He liked that because I didn't say work, and he got it. He was like, well, I like you said that, son. So this is what I do. It's a little complex, weird to talk about, but I buy FedExes. I buy FedEx franchises. And it wasn't FedEx, it was UPS. He's like, I buy UPS franchises. And I own about 50 of these. And I buy them when they're not producing very well. I put all my systems into place and they produce better. And then I sell them. And I also sell a training course on how to improve their UPSs. So I sell the training course, and then I buy the business from them. And then I sell the business again to somebody else, and I sell the training course so that they maintain it. And then down the road, I buy the business from them again, because, you know, sometimes people just don't follow instructions. And this guy was a multi, you don't buy UPSs cheap, is my point. And so I had a great experience by getting out of my comfort zone, going out to where the rich people hang out. Does that make sense? It was 10Xing my network. And my one big mistake is I didn't get his phone number. No, I did. So I got his phone number, and it's in my phone. And my one big mistake is I've never reached out to him. How's that? How's that for honesty? Never reached out to him. Yeah, now I know. Bro, how do I buy UPSs? Let's go. And I got to find him in my phone, because I did. I remember thinking, I'll regret it if I don't ask. And he was so cool about it, gave me his contact information. And it was just one of those experiences where, like, if Ron hadn't sat there and set the challenge in my head, I wouldn't have changed my life. I wouldn't have changed that situation. I wouldn't have this story to tell that, hey, did you know you could buy UPSs? And did you know that people are probably going to run them into the ground anyway, and you can go buy them back again, the same UPS you sold? New story, new interesting concept, yes. Hanging out with millionaires, multimillionaire. I bet you that guy was a multi-millionaire.
So when are you calling him?
Yeah, I got to go and actually find out how I stored him in my phone. So that will be these 2,500 contacts in my phone. So got to go figure that out.
When are you calling him?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
So I'll put it on this week. Sure. We'll do it this week. Ron, if I don't call by Friday, make sure that Friday I sit there and I figure out where this guy is.
Next Saturday, if we don't remember, somebody remember.
Oh, we will.
Hell yeah. Yep.
You can call Friday night.
Shit. Hey, what?
Live.
That's a
Friday nights before
10X.
Saturday.
10X massive action. Just
10X.
remember massive
10X!
action. Massive action.
Hey, you know, get a network like these guys. Get around the 10X community, right? Alchemist University, you guys are awesome. Alchemists, mentors, future millionaires. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, Mike, for always presenting the book of the week.
Welcome.
If you want to learn more about the book of the week, you can go to walteramorello.com/blog. And in there, look for the 52 Weeks to Wealth. There is a post that I made. And actually, if you go just to walteramorello.com and you look at the first page, there's a little text where I talk about it. You can click on that 52 Weeks to Wealth link, and it brings you to all 52 wealth principles. And then on the side of the wealth principles, I have the book that associates with it. There are 52 weeks in a year. This is the power year. If you just read these books over and over again, you will certainly become a millionaire if you do the one necessary step beyond getting information, and that is taking action. Taking action on the things you've learned. Like today, we talked about the 10X rule. This is Wealth Principle 20. There are 32 more to go through. Please, please implement this one this week. Take action on it this week and change one thing about your life this week so that you can do it every single week going forward. Kim Harvey, welcome to the program. We are so glad to have you in it. We're excited to be able to work with you, to introduce you to the celebrity coaches, to introduce you to the rest of our future millionaires, and to get moving you forward. And we're going to do our one-on-one interview. I will record it. If you want it posted, I'll post it. If not, it'll be stored away. Mike Shine, go ahead.
I just think that maybe for a little accountability, if we're going to do the 10X rule and do one thing, 10X it, maybe people should be ready next weekend to tell us what they did, you know, so we don't surprise them with this. But what did you do this week to 10X your career, your journey to being a millionaire?
Absolutely. And and here's the process. If nothing else, writing down the 10X goal is a start. Writing down the 10X goal somewhere you can see it in your house, clearly defining it, writing down that goal, 10X, whatever it is, putting that somewhere where somebody in your house can hold you accountable. If you're the only person in your house, then you're the most important person in the house. Make sure it's written somewhere. All right, that said, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful rest of your week. We're going to go hang out with Mike Shine later today, the vegan opportunity, Beyond Meat.
Yeah.
And for all of the people in the mentorship program, I will see you Friday, 5 o'clock for the Wholesale Mastermind. If you're not in the Wholesale Mastermind, if you're not looking to find more deals, calling sellers, jump in. The motivated sellers that we're calling on the phones, you'll hear me call, you'll hear Dorina call, you'll hear Chris Hayward call. We're jumping on the phones and we're finding motivated sellers, and we're teaching you how to do it. I've seen a lot of you in there. Keep going. If you're not making calls, keep going. If you keep going, you'll start feeling bad enough. You'll start feeling comfortable enough. You'll start making the calls, because at the end of the day, you can't hang around success without becoming successful. You can't hang around us for a long enough period of time. And through osmosis, we will force you to start doing the things that we're doing, because you'll just feel like, oh my God, all my friends are jumping on the calls. I'm jumping on all my friends. This makes sense? Surround yourself with successful people. You're guaranteed to be successful. Surround yourself with only successful people, and you're guaranteed to eventually become successful. The more you focus on the best, the more you surround yourself with the best, the sooner you will become the best. And that is the strategy towards success. That said, have a great night, everybody. Cheers to success. I'll see you on the next one when you have a choice. Always work with the best.
Always work with the best.
That's right.
Always work with the best.
Hi there.
Take care.
Later, guys, gals.
Your network.
That's right. Your network is your net worth. Brett, I love those shirts, man. Keep wearing them. Element Real Estate, taking the world by storm.